Okay, so this quick document is going to help you validate your tagline, just give you a few strategies. Really, it just comes down to knowing your audience. I'm telling you, the key to so much success in your marketing and sales strategy is understanding your audience. And so having this tagline is going to help you be super clear about what your offer does. And this is so important and sometimes such a challenge for us because we recognize that our offer solves so many problems and provides so many benefits. But your ready to buy person is looking for a solution right now to a very specific problem. There are symptoms and there's other problems, and there is a desire that they want to get to, and there's other benefits around it. But right now, their mind is rooted on a very specific problem. So, for example, you guys wanted to sell your offers on autopilot, whether you're here because you want to sell your evergreen offers on autopilot, or you want to have as much automation and leverage as you can to passively make your group coaching sales. Okay, that's your initial like root problem. You can also have a lead generation problem. You can have also have an email list problem. You can also say, I don't want to get on sales calls. You can also say, you have a time problem. There's so many other problems, but, and you're like live launching and you're running out of, cash flow, or why isn't my cash flow not sustainable? I want a sustainable business model. So it's like, if I were to say, do you want to say sustainable business model? Yes, that appeals to you. And you're like, yeah, that resonates. But what you're really trying to figure out is, how do I sell my group coaching program as passively and on autopilot as possible, right? Or how do I sell my evergreen offers completely on autopilot so that I can create sustainable income? So sustainable income is an outcome. That's a problem you're trying to fix. But you are specifically looking for a certain thing. It could be lead generation. It could be something like that. But if I position my thing against the problem and the desire that you want without doing the things you hate, that's the root narrative of my super sexy tagline, my magnetic tagline, whatever all of these like words that people are calling it. That is why you end up buying offers, because from that root place, that is where you create the stories for all of your content. That is where you create the stories for your launches. That is where you create the stories for your funnels. So you probably already have a tagline. You just don't realize it. So the best way, and one of the fastest ways, is to talk to your audience. Okay. So that's what this is going to help you do. When I found my tagline for followers to sales and how to turn your followers into paying customers without staying stuck on social media 24/7, I was selling an Instagram offer that helps you turn your Instagram into a funnel. In my mind, I'm thinking like, yeah, how to grow your business on Instagram, how to make money on Instagram, da 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 da. But I did this process, and I also created a survey. And in my survey, I just asked either the clients that have purchased or the potential dream clients. And I started to see, I was like, oh, that is what you guys are saying. So in my mind, I'm like, technically it's how to build a business, but they were just saying like, how do I turn my followers into customers? And I was like, oh, that's what you specifically think is your problem, which realistically speaking is how to make sales on Instagram, right? Like, so it was just even more potent because I was using their language. So this is what's going to help you to do that. And I'm also going to actually throw my survey in this as well, now that I'm actually thinking about it. So you can use this strategy in your story polls or your post. You can talk to your dream client on a quick call or a DM voice note. Okay. You don't need to talk to everyone under the sun. You want to make sure people that you do talk to are qualified, because if they're not, then their voice does not matter in this context. And so if you are going to talk to your dream client, either pick your top client that you have now or ask a potential client to help you out. So for your full tagline, if you're like, I think this is the tagline with the without statement, the whole thing, you can do it in one of two ways and look at the principle of what this is. So if you can't make it fit, like make it your own. The whole point is that you're going to be talking about, you're selling something, you're asking something. If this tagline is so juicy, people will want to know more. So I'm thinking about selling a program, enter the tagline, or because that's kind of if you're creating something new, if you're in this position you haven't necessarily launched yet, but you're building this funnel. Or in my Done With You group coaching program, I help, and then you insert the tagline, want to know more. Okay. If it's a self-study program or whatever the case is in my, online course, you just change out the information. And so if you're doing the story poll, then you would just basically say yes or no, because if they want to know more, yes. If they don't want to know more. So I could say, I'm thinking about selling a program on how to sell your group coaching offers passively without getting on sales calls, doing live launches, or like growing Facebook groups or something like that. Want to know more? So people are like, well, wait a second. Or I can even add, I'm going to teach you how to close high ticket clients into your group coaching program on autopilot. And they're like, what? So if that's something juicy, okay. You can do the same thing as a post, except for you would just say comment, because obviously you're not doing a poll. Now with your about statement, when it comes to, let's say, selling your, signing high ticket clients into your group coaching program, which thing do you wish you never had to do again? Or which are the things that you don't want to do? And then you enter sales calls, DMs, live launching, da, 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 da. Or you can tell them to comment below if you don't have any poll options yet. So if you're like, I actually don't know any without statement options, then you can just tell them to comment below the things that they want to give up. Or if it's the story poll, then you would just use the sticker with the question. Okay. And then your desires, what they want. So if you're trying to figure out okay, what is the main desire that this gets them to, then you can say, what is the biggest reason why? Because, in the psychographic part, we really want to know kind of what they think that depth is. And so if people you see are like, I just want to spend time with my family on vacation. I want to be a present mom. I want to, I don't know what, insert other things, then you could kind of see the core premises that they actually want freedom. They want their ability to choose. They want their own time, right? Because I'm not a mom. So, and I, have my personal family, but it's those things may not necessarily resonate with me, but there is a part of me that can connect to that, especially with the desire to have time and financial freedom, not just time freedom, not just financial freedom. I want them both at the same time. And so if you have different desires that you're playing with, that you're trying to see what's the most important, insert those in there, because we really just want to hear it from your client's language. And then if you don't have any options because you're not sure exactly what this means for them, then you can do the same thing as before, where you can tell them to comment, or if you use a sticker on Instagram. So what do you do if you don't get a response? Post it again. Use the same exact post. If you don't get a response out of the second time, you can go back to the drawing board on your why. So you will go back to your offer document, your buying document, your marketing angle, and we can really start to see, why is it not connecting with your audience? And one of the things that you can think of is, well, why did I start this offer? What problem was I trying to solve? What desire was I trying to get? What need was I trying to meet? What things did I not want to do? And start with yourself. So just like you see in the offer and buyer document, as a personal coach, you are only selling things that you have embodied. So you can also insert yourself as the details and the psychographics of your avatar. Okay. So when in doubt, go in deep and think about those scenarios that you were experiencing at that time. And so what do you do if you get a response? Well, you can continue to build your funnel. We're going to say funnel. You can continue to build your funnel and use your new tagline. So another thing that you could do is that if you're this person is a good fit that you've been talking to in the DMs, that's been helping, or if, you see a couple of if people respond to your poll, you look at their stuff and you're like, oh my gosh, I could help them. If they comment on your Facebook and you're like, oh my gosh, I can help them. If you got on a DM call with a potential client, you're like, oh my gosh, I could help them. Then you can just continue the conversation, right? Send them a DM, ask them what their goals are in terms of solving the problem, getting to the desire. And then when they respond with their goals, then you obviously suss the situation and they're so perfect. You're like, oh my gosh, well, I'm excited because I can actually help you. And this is actually my specialty. And I've been, insert your little story, the condensed version of your training, right? And state that I have this offer that can help you, whether it's the offer that's coming, because I know some of you are in here that have not launched your group coaching program yet, and say, hey, you know what? I have this coming. It's going to be X amount, but I'm going to give you this pre-sale offer, if it's coming soon. And then if it's not coming soon and it's something you have an open enrollment with, saying hey, you know what, for this next week, if this is something that you really want to do together, I will take $500 off if you'd like to join, or whatever the case is. Okay. So that is it. If you have any questions on this process, you know how to find me inside Telegram.